Welcome to the English Listen Lab. Enhance your English listening skills with engaging audio lessons and real-life conversations. The Journey of a Lifetime, Chapter 1, A New Beginning. Daniel had always lived in a small town in England. It was a quiet place where everybody knew each other. Life was simple, predictable, and, to Daniel, a little too ordinary. He worked at a local bookstore, spent weekends with his best friend, Alex, and occasionally went hiking in the nearby hills. But deep inside, he felt something was missing. One day, while cleaning an old shelf in the bookstore, he found a dusty travel magazine with the headline, "Discover the World, Life Begins at the End of Your Comfort Zone." Daniel stared at the cover for a moment. Traveling had always fascinated him, but he never considered it a real possibility. After all, he had responsibilities, but something inside him clicked. That night, he made a decision. He would travel abroad for the first time in his life. Chapter 2, The Unexpected Destination. After weeks of researching, Daniel chose Vietnam as his first destination. He wanted to go somewhere completely different from his hometown. With his savings, he booked a flight, packed a small suitcase, and said goodbye to his family and friends. The moment he stepped off the plane in Hanoi, he was overwhelmed by the sights, sounds, and smells of the city. The streets were filled with motorbikes, the air carried the aroma of street food, and the people moved with a vibrant energy. It was nothing like home, and he loved it. Daniel checked into a small guest house and, despite his exhaustion, decided to explore. He wandered through the old quarter, where tiny shops sold everything from silk scarves to fresh fruit. He stopped at a street vendor and tried pho for the first time. The warm broth, fresh herbs, and tender beef created an explosion of flavors in his mouth. "This is amazing," he thought to himself. Chapter 3, The Challenge. The next few days were a mixture of excitement and challenges. Daniel struggled with the language barrier. Ordering food, asking for directions, and even crossing the chaotic streets felt like an adventure. But he refused to let fear stop him. One evening, he met a local woman named Mai at a coffee shop. She was a university student who spoke English well, and they quickly became friends. Mai offered to teach him some basic Vietnamese phrases in exchange for English practice. "If you want to fit in, you should try to learn some Vietnamese," she said, smiling. Daniel nodded eagerly. "All right, teach me something." Over the next few weeks, Daniel practiced speaking Vietnamese, explored hidden corners of Hanoi, and even learned how to ride a motorbike. Each day, he felt more confident, more alive. Chapter 4, A Moment of Realization. One evening, Daniel and Mai visited a quiet temple on the outskirts of the city. As they sat by a pond, watching the reflection of lanterns on the water, Mai asked, "So, what have you learned from your journey so far?" Daniel thought for a moment before replying, that life isn't about playing it safe. It's about taking risks, embracing the unknown, and learning from new experiences. "I never imagined I'd feel so at home in a place so far from where I grew up." Mai smiled. "Then I think you've truly started your journey." At that moment, Daniel understood that travel wasn't just about seeing new places. It was about discovering new parts of himself. Chapter 5. The road ahead. After 3 months in Vietnam, Daniel knew it was time to move on. He had fallen in love with the country, but he also realized that the world was vast, and there was so much more to explore. As he boarded a train heading south to Ho Chi Minh City, he looked out the window, feeling grateful. This journey had changed him. He was no longer the shy bookstore clerk from a small town. He was a traveler, an explorer, a storyteller. And this was just the beginning. Thank you for listening to Daniel's journey. We hope this story has helped you improve your English listening skills while inspiring you to step outside your comfort zone. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new lesson. And if you have a story idea you'd like to hear, let us know in the comments below. See you in the next episode of the English Listen Lab. Goodbye and happy learning.